came up with some scenarios. Said, okay, how do we address this? And so we came up with different scenarios. What could we do? So we could do nothing. That's one scenario, and there were a number of people advocating that in the community, and so that is definitely one we have to look at. We could just look at the drinking water problem and just kind of never mind about the groundwater. Let's worry about the drinking water. We could monitor the groundwater. We've heard a lot about monitoring the groundwater. We could develop a phased approach that would deploy solutions as needed in the areas where there's a clear need and not across the board. Or the one-size-fits-all, that was kind of the ATT solution. So that got on there, but we didn't do much talking about that. What happens if we do nothing? Right now, if a sand filter or a on-site system needs repair, it fails and it has to be replaced. It will have to be replaced with an ATT system. And ATT systems are expensive. They also are mechanical, so they have maintenance requirements. They use electricity, so they cost a lot more per month to operate than some other kind of system. But right now, if someone has a failed system, they have to put in an ATT system. So eventually there will be ATT systems. If we do nothing, there will be ATT systems throughout down there. And then the problem with ATT systems is they discharge contaminants, and with half-acre lots, you're still going to get to 10 milligrams of nitrates, even when you reduce the nitrates. And with half-acre lots, you're going to end up drinking 50% of the water is going to be coming from septic in a half-acre lot development. So, there's concern about, would that discharge to the river? And then there were a lot of things we didn't know. So do nothing. We talked about do nothing, but it seems like we're kind of stuck. We have to do something because do nothing doesn't work out because we end up with the ATT systems, which we don't really think ATT systems are a very good solution. This is a slide just to describe the drinking water and groundwater before we go to that scenario. Dave mentioned first water. So you can see the blue, the different striations of blue there. So the first water is obviously that top water. And so that's all groundwater. All those blue bars up there on that chart are groundwater. But you may be, so if you have a well that doesn't go very deep, it will be in first water. But then there can be these confining, like clay layers and things like that. So there could be a separate aquifer lower and even lower than that. And so depending on how deep your well is, you might be getting water that's been down there for a long time. If we just focus on the drinking water, what we could do is we could drill wells deeper. We could just drill wells deeper and not worry about the groundwater. Just let people put in standard systems. We could put in public water systems. We could put in filtration systems. And so that was a scenario. The concern is that it's really not doing anything for the groundwater is still going to get polluted. And then if we do nothing, there's some risk that it could get into the river. And you'd still need to put in ATT systems because DEQ would, you're not supposed to knowingly pollute the groundwater. We're not supposed to give up on the groundwater. So it didn't seem like a very feasible scenario. Monitor the groundwater. I don't know if we need to talk more about that. So clearly we need to know more about where the problems are, and we need to have a regular routine approach to monitoring the groundwater so we can see trends and we can give people the facts they need about what the problem is and where the problem is. And the phased approach. So the idea here is once you know where there's a problem, you deploy a solution for that problem, but you don't deploy a solution across the whole area, and you go from area to area deploying solutions as necessary. When we get to our recommendations, it's really a combination of the last scenario, monitoring, and this phased deployment approach. And then the one-size-fits-all we put in there because it was a scenario. So we didn't talk about it very much because that was really not the solution.